Hello, this is kind of a little lazy Sunday type of a thing. It is Sunday, and I figured I'd just switch on the camera and share with you, I guess, my thoughts uh, that I've had with me for quite a few years. My thoughts on what I would do for a future Jurassic Park installment. Now, this is Jurassic Park, not Jurassic World. In fact, this installment would eradicate the possibility of there ever being a Jurassic World, as it will take place in between the first film and the second film. So hear me out. For those of you who do not know, there was a video game company called Telltale Games. I don't believe they're in business anymore, but they made this game called Jurassic Park the game, which essentially took place, like a little bit during, but mostly after, right after actually, like 5 minutes after the events of the first film. And it basically followed, this group of people who, I guess, they go in to like rescue whoever is left on the island or whatever, and they end up being trapped and such by dinosaurs and all of that. And it's actually a pretty creative little game. I recommend you play it. I know I have at least once, but they also made it into like a little movie. Because the cutscenes are like, if you put them together, they're about maybe 2 hours and 20 minutes long. So it could almost be its own movie. But in that game, as is apparent in the original novel, the Isla Nublar, is set to be demolished by, I guess, nuclear decimation or nuclear weapons or whatever. And I believe the one who requested for that said that they would be there in 90 minutes. And so they got to get off the island. Well, here's where my idea comes in. Instead of 90 minutes, we'll have it be 90 days. Because, it takes time for these, for nuclear development to take place and all of that type of thing. But, also, this is going back quite a lot to the original novel, too. In Michael Crichton's original, which I have here, John Hammond had a business partner by the name of Norman Atherton. And basically, this may not be what happened in the actual novel, because I haven't read it in many years, and probably over a decade. But here's how I would put it. Essentially, Jurassic Park was Atherton's idea, stolen by Hammond. And him seeing, what's going on and such, he knows that Hammond couldn't have pulled it off, with the events of the first film and all that. So, once all these people, actually most of the people in the game, depending on how you play it, die, once they get off the island, immediately after, you have Atherton's people go up on the island and see the wreckage and all the dinosaurs loose and such, and then Atherton is just saying, "Oh, Hammond, I knew this would happen under him and such," and eventually in the course of about, 30 days or something like that. This is why there's going to be a 90-day, almost like a mini-series. Maybe for Netflix, I don't know. Course of 30 days, they actually rebuild the park and have it fully operational by day 60. So the people, not as many people as Jurassic World, like there's like 85,000 people going to Jurassic World, but there's only going to be like 800 max. Maybe less than that, maybe like 500 or something like that. Because really it's too small a space, and the amount of casualties that could occur there won't be as great, should casualties happen. But throughout the course of these 90 days, there will be many a thing happening, such as there is as you know, there is a different island chain separate from Isla Nubla, which is called Las Cinco Muertes, or the Five Deaths, of which Isla Sorna is a part, and of which 4 other islands are a part. Dinosaurs will be brought from those islands to Isla Nubla, and there will be episodes chronicling what happens on each island. And also, in the very first episode, dinosaurs from Isla Sorna will be conveyed there by themselves on a land bridge from those islands to this one. And essentially nobody will know that because most of the original dinosaurs from Jurassic Park are pretty much all dead and such, except for maybe the T-Rex and a few raptors. But essentially they're thinking that they're part of the thing, but really they're a hell of a lot more dangerous and such and all that. And as for the T-Rex, I'm one of the few people, actually, I may be the only person who has this unpopular opinion, but I actually despise the ending of the first Jurassic Park when the T-Rex slaughtered the raptors. Because I was rooting for the raptors, and I wanted them to survive and all that stuff, but in my mind, I figured that they were playing possum after, they're being thrashed round and such all in there and everything. And so, after the events of the first film and of Jurassic Park the game, you don't see those raptors. Those original 2 raptors that, terrorized Lex and Tim in the kitchen and all of that and everything. They will be missing for about maybe 89 episodes, until finally, in the 90th, they emerge as Jurassic Park crumbles and such. And as for the T-Rex, he or she, I can't remember which gender it is, will be, I suppose, shot, well not shot, but like tranquilized, and will be stored in like a special area where nobody will know where it is. At least tourists won't, but where they will like harvest meat off of it and such and feed it to the other dinosaurs until episode 90, when it eventually breaks out and then causes a whole bunch of mayhem and such. There will be other things in this series, if it ever does come to light, which probably it won't, but anyway. With the inclusion of Allosaurus being the replacement dinosaur for T-Rex, with a different, with a park that's going to be on the same island, but in uncultivated area, which will actually be called Jurassic World as sort of a jab at the that was Jurassic World, which will be run by the rival company Biosyn, of which Charles Lewis Dodson, not Lewis Carroll, but Dodson, we got Dodson here, was a part. And instead, because they didn't get the DNA from Nidri, it's sort of like an Island of Dr. Moreau situation where they make dinosaurs out of basically kind of like humans and lizards and all that, and I don't know, it's gross. But anyway, also other things too, like there being a Spinosaurus that unknowingly stumbles upon the shores of Isla Nubla, and basically accidentally causes havoc and all that type of thing. And raptors secretly breaking out, Site B raptors, and the people trying to contain them, whilst tourists don't know that they are on the loose and all that. And a whole bunch of stuff that I really... Anyway, it's going to be much better, I think, than what Jurassic World has turned out to be and will most likely be. And as for the name of this series, since Jurassic Park is taken over by Norman Atherton, it shall be called Atherton. And it will be bloody. It will be real bloody. I have a logo of... I don't know if I can even find it. Hang on a minute. Let me see if I can find the thing. There it is. It's not finished yet, but you get the idea. It's a red Jurassic Park logo, and there'll be drops of blood everywhere and all that type. But anyway, yes, it will be bloody. Many people will die in very gruesome ways, just like the original novel. And I'm almost out of breath talking about this. But it will follow more closely the original novel by Michael Crichton. And I guess, well, that's really all I have to say about that. But, yeah, that's basically my idea for a continuation of Jurassic Park, which is basically to adapt the events put forth in Jurassic Park the game by Telltale Games, and then after that, as an extenuation, to make a whole series, like maybe a 90-episode series, called Atherton, in which the events of Jurassic Park, when it's actually brought to the public, are chronicled. And of course, by the end of it, the island will be demolished and such, and people will be trying to get off in the midst of dinosaurs, trying to eat them and everything, and there'll even be a scene in an arcade, I think, where raptors try and, eat a girl or something, and, they get attacked by a gremlin from a Gremlins game or something or other, and I'm not going to mess around. They will actually kill children. Because in the novel, children have been killed. Compsognathus have eaten babies and all of that. So I won't be afraid to take risks with this. Anyway, that is my little idea for Jurassic Park. The continuation Jurassic Park, which would in turn eradicate Jurassic World. I will discuss more in depth about this maybe in the future, but I had to get this down just in case I forget, because I've been thinking about this for, oh God, I should say like maybe 6 or 7 years. And I really do think that people will be more pleased by this than they were by Jurassic World, even though plenty of people do like Jurassic World. I will not understand that crowd. I truly won't. In fact, I forgot most of the stuff in Jurassic World, both films. I even forgot that there was like a hunter in Fallen Kingdom that like collected teeth of dinosaurs and all of that. That's how unmemorable Jurassic World. I forget entire characters from those two films, entire events even. But nobody's gonna forget the characters from Atherton. Anyway, that's it, and have a good Sunday, I suppose.